What's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday, June 13th, and as per usual, we've got a weird slate split up in the morning. 9-game slate, though, tonight. I actually really like it. There's a lot of balanced hitting, a lot of teams with similar implied totals. Pitching is going to be pretty chalky at the high end, so finding something that most people aren't on, I think, is going to be the key play. Looking for a better day than yesterday. Didn't shake out all that well, so I'm looking to rebound today. Jake, how'd your night go?
It was all right. We survived. Didn't we got most of it back, so those are going to happen. But everyone likes to make money every night, but it's not really realistic in DFS when you're playing tournaments all the time. So yeah, the main slate is going to be really fun. I think I like the pitching at the top, and then probably going to try to get a little bit weird with bats. So I think that's the way to go.
I agree. So what we're going to do, not that anybody's really going to hear this part of the podcast until it matters, we're going to go through the main slate and then circle back to the early. So if you have main slate questions for any particular game that we're on, feel free to pop them in. If it's anything about the early stuff, we'll get to that at the end.
Spotlight pitchers for the main just published too, so
hitters are up there as well.
There we go.
Productive morning.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do it.
First game up is not entered correctly on my end. Actually, let me retweet that stuff that just came out. Okay, now let's do it. First game up, Nats and Yankees. Nats, 3.9 run implied total. Yankees, 4.6. It's a 57% chance to win for the Yankees. Eric Fede, which I think is how you say that, is going for the Nats. Sonny Gray going for the Yankees. For a second, that made me think I have the wrong pitcher in. Too many guys named Gray going in the last 24 hours. I like Gray a little bit. I got 3% of him, which is kind of low. I assume we're not projecting ownership yet. We're projecting 5% ownership there. I want to like him more, but the Nats are just kind of a scary lineup, at least to me.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to post this video a couple places. All right. So just trying to be a company man, get more viewers. I am not on Sonny Gray, and it's just because that Nationals lineup looks quite a bit different with Daniel Murphy in the lineup, Matt Adams in the lineup, Soto. You got Harper in there.
A lot of scary lefty bats.
Yeah. Daniel Murphy, dude. I love Daniel Murphy. Even Eaton back. Man. Eaton, too.
Yeah.
He grades out pretty well for me. So this Nats lineup looks really scary, 1 through 7 right now. And I'm actually all over a Nats stack. I know Gray's been good for a couple starts in a row. But those were in a lot more favorable matchups. So I'm not taking my chances with Gray. I love the Nationals bats that I mentioned. So Bryce, Daniel Murphy, Soto, Harper, Eaton, Trey Turner. Gray's going to have a rough time here, I think.
Yeah, I'm relatively neutral on the Nats. I get a lot of Trey Turner as like a one-off shortstop option. Surprise, surprise. A Turner, Harper, Rendon, Daniel Murphy stack on FanDuel I think looks really, really good. Murphy only $2,900, so he's $1,600 cheaper than he is on DraftKings. For a second base option, looks great. Rendon, always fine. Harper, obviously, is Bryce Harper. And still only $4,600 on FanDuel. So a stack on FanDuel I think is workable. I don't like it as much on DK. I'll probably use more Nats as one-off guys than I would as a stack.
Yeah, I will be having a lot of stacks. And I wonder if people will play Gray because he's had a couple of nice starts. But I won't be one of them. 6,900, maybe people get turned on by that price because they look at the game logs or whatever, but yeah, I think it's going to be a rough outing for him.
Really? Big favorite, too.
Is he? I'm not seeing a
57% chance to win for the Yanks. They got a 4.6 implied total. Nats are under 4.
Let's see here. I don't see a run total just yet, but you probably got it from a different site than I'm looking at. So, yeah, I don't know, dude. All these guys match up so well against Gray. It's just such good hitters.
I don't think Yeah, looks like I made up that total. So
Okay.
It could be higher than that.
I mean, I'm sure the Yankees will be favored because Eric Fetty is going for them. And you don't have any interest in Fetty, right?
Just Fetty Wap.
Yeah, me too. No interest in Eric.
No.
I like the 2 through 5 against him, and I don't think Gary Sanchez is going to be in the lineup here. I think that's correct.
Okay.
Because Romine has been catching Gray, and Gray's been better with Romine catching him.
Sanchez sat yesterday though too, right?
I think he did. So he might be in. Could he be in as a DH? Maybe, but I'm pretty sure they're going to catch Romine. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, he didn't play yesterday either. I'd be surprised if they sat him 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Although that could happen all the time, and I wouldn't have any idea, but I wouldn't expect him being one of their better hitters and all.
I just know that Gray needs a good defensive catcher, and Romine calls a better game, and Sanchez is not a good defensive catcher, like pitch framing, any of that stuff. So he prefers Romine.
Gotcha. I think that's probably it. It's a relatively quiet game, I think, because one way or the other, like even if that total does get higher in the game, the Nats are still pretty sizable underdogs. I won't get to too much on their side, although they will look a little bit more desirable. I think they fit in a little bit better as one-offs than stacks. That's all. Why is there an extra space in the Rockies thing?
Mark C. Last night was weird and wacky. I'm just here to see if Josh is going to fall on that Cubs sword again. Hope not. I think we're both 0 for 2 in the Cubs this series.
Are they an early slate game today? Yeah.
They are.
Yeah. I don't know. Probably. If it's a shorter slate, I would imagine that I'm gonna fall on the Cubs sword
Against Chacin?
Oh, then I definitely will be.
Yeah. Derek Lowe, Chase Anderson shutting down the Cubs is probably the most tilting thing in the night. I agree.
Yep.
Baseball really gets in your head, man.
Yeah. Alrighty. Next game up. Rockies and Phillies. Rockies 3.7 run implied total. Phillies 4.7. 62% chance to win for the Phils. Nick Pivetta. Well, I don't know why I'm reading it in that order. Tyler Anderson going for the Rockies. Nick Pivetta going for the Phillies. Pivetta looks great. 7,500 on DK. 8,000 on FanDuel. We have Pivetta owned at 26%, so very similar to what I've got him at right now. I mean, he grades out really nicely. Incredible value as an SP2 option. And on a bigger, we'll be able to check it out once we look at a crunch. On a bigger slate, I would really like to put him and Weaver together. I think it's just going to be hard to spend all that salary. So we'll see what those kind of lineups look like at the end. But for me, Pivetta's my dude today. One of 4 guys that I like quite a bit.
Yeah, I love him as well. And this guy was just 10K, 9,600, 9,100, and 9,300, and now he's like you could possibly imagine. Rockies on the road against a righty. They own the league's worst WRC plus, a 286 on base percentage. Like they're just awful on the road when they get outside of Coors, especially against righties. So I love Pivetta. He's striking out 30% of righties. He's going to get 4, 5, probably 5 righties here, and then the pitcher spot. So it just sets up so well for Pivetta. And I'm trying to find a pivot that's going to be chalky, like in the Pivetta Weaver range, but I might just go all in on Pivetta because I much prefer him over Weaver.
Okay. I was gonna say you should play on FanDuel tonight, but Pavetta is expensive and Weaver is not.
Oh, I'd play
the other way around. I'd send you that way.
I mean, I'll play on FanDuel tonight. Maybe I'll just max enter the quarter arcade with all Pavetta.
There you go. Nothing bad could happen there.
150. Well,
$37.50. You can handle that, man.
I've been doing it the last couple nights, but I haven't been able to pay. Like, I've been scrambling to get my crunches in, so that hasn't come out the way I've wanted to. Usually I do like 10 or 12 crunches to try to get the percentages I want.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Let's talk Phillies bats because they look incredibly tasty to me. They're my number 1 stack on FanDuel right now, number 4 on DK. The interesting part of all of that is we're not projecting that same sort of ownership. We've got them with the 7th most ownership on DK, and they're 4th on FanDuel. So I've got them doubled up right now for my exposure. Am I crazy or is the public crazy? Because I really like the Phillies here.
I don't think you're crazy, although I will say Anderson is kind of my guy. And if he's going to be loaned, he's someone I have interest in. The problem is, I see the problem with like 2 through 5, really, for Anderson. So you got Rhys Hoskins, just pounds everything when he's making contact. Strikes out a lot less against lefties.
Yeah, I think Hoskins looks like one of the better plays of the day.
He's not hitting lefties as well as he should be, like as far as hard hit and ISO, and like his WOBA's fine, but so I'm a little confused about that. But Carlos Santana hitting lefties really well. Altherr is a guy I always look to target against lefties because he's always cheap and batting in the middle of the order, and nobody seemed to want to play him. So I like that 2 through 5, even with Odubel in there, he can hit lefties well. So that's going to be Anderson's toughest stretch, I think. So that might be enough to get me to back off the Anderson play, but I'm with you. I'm with you right there. The Phillies are a solid stack if they're not going to be owned.
Yeah, they're super cheap on FanDuel. That's driving a lot of this. Rhys Hoskins only 3,400. Altherr is 2,400. Not that I think that he's like super good or anything, but got pop against a lefty.
Right.
Even like Kingery is only 2,400. To get that as a shortstop as part of a stack makes a lot of this work. I'm just going to end up with a lot of Phillies. I'll probably dial that back just a little bit. I don't think they're the team, or I don't think they're a team that I need to be twice the field on, but I'll definitely want to be quite over the field.
Okay. Yeah. And I'll probably be over the field on Tyler Anderson, too. He's just cheap. He's on the road. He's outside of Coors. And he can strike these guys out, especially that bottom of the lineup with Kingery, Crawford, Knapp, Pavetta. If he can navigate the top, he will be able to go pretty deep into this game, I think.
You think you'll be over the field on Anderson?
What's he at right now?
15?
We don't have him. Ooh. I might be over the field. I like both sides of the game. So
I mean, if you're playing a ton of Pavetta, it's going to be hard to play 15+% of Anderson, too. That's 2 really low salaried guys.
Well, I don't know if I'm playing much Weaver. So I'm going to have a really concise group of pitchers today, like 4, maybe 5.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I only got 4% Anderson. He's a guy that I'm definitely going to be underweight on.
Okay.
And I like in general, I like him, but he's not getting a lot of respect in that Vegas total.
Yeah, he's not. So that's a little bit worrisome, but
yeah. All things considered, I love Hoskins tonight. He might be my home run pick, and we all know how good I am at picking those.
Yeah, you're on fire.
Mm-hmm. When you're good, you're good. Sometimes quality just exudes out of my pores. Honestly, I'd rather never get a home run right and have a good good DFS night. So the tables are turning.
Yeah. I'd love a good DFS night. Maybe like some commas.
Yeah.
Here and there.
I mean, I'll take 1 comma. I'm not gonna be greedy.
Multiple. Come on.
Yeah. I'll fuck up some commas.
I guess multiple commas would be $1 million, right? So maybe not multiple. Got to wait till NFL season for that.
Yeah. Oh my god. I can't even imagine. I can't even have that conversation.
I know. Can't even let yourself think about that kind of money from playing fantasy sports.
I'd pay off my house. Like,
Yep.
it's fucking... I can't even think about something like that.
The problem is trying to chase it.
I don't think I would try to chase it.
No, I'm saying like
The feeling
people
you mean?
chase it. People chase the idea of winning
Oh, yeah.
$1 million
I
there.
mean, I barely play those.
I mean, if it's a $3, I'll probably max enter it like week 1.
Sure.
But I don't know. I'm kind of excited for NFL season. I just woke up being excited for NFL.
Yeah. I'm going to have to learn to be excited, but it's my least favorite sport by far.
It's a lot more feel. So if you're a spreadsheets guy, you're a data guy, and it's not as much about data. Although Osmo might tell you different, and Tom. So
Oh, I play. I just don't like it.
I mean, I just like watching the NFL. So
I pretty much hate everything about the NFL. The entire experience is getting worse and worse.
I would agree with that.
I can't stand, like, commercials or something that I just can't deal with anymore.
Well, you've got touchdown, extra point commercial,
It's awful.
kickoff commercial, 2-minute warning commercial. Yeah.
That's why I love soccer so much. 2 hours in and out, no commercials, just 15-minute halftime, get the fuck back in there, nothing.
Speaking of soccer, you guys have any announcements just yet? I honestly don't know.
I mean, are you talking about the United States getting part of the World Cup in 2026? Or do you mean just from, like, the website?
Like from a DFS perspective.
We'll
I
have
don't know.
projections up for Friday.
Sweet. I want to play, so I'm going to use our projections.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we'll have projections up. Alex is working on some stuff. I'm putting some stuff
Nice.
together that's more generic.
That's awesome.
And then United States is going to be co-hosting the 2026 World Cup with Mexico and Canada.
I saw that. That's pretty cool.
I'm going to bring this up again because we're going to take a pause on talking baseball for a second. I had this conversation with the wife this morning. She was like, "Oh, do you want to go?" And I was just like, "Well, in 8 years we're going to be 40, so I'm not really thinking about it like that." But I figure in 8 years, like, the virtual reality experience will be so good, I wouldn't even want to go. I'll just strap on goggles and I'll be there.
I don't know.
Like,
8 years? I
it's
don't
good
think much
now,
will change in
so
8
I
years.
can only imagine 8 years from now is going to be insane.
That's true, I guess. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That's something I would have never
Dude,
thought
I
about.
went down a rabbit hole. You see more marijuana in your life, man. You spiral down these things. So I started thinking about it like this. If that experience gets so good that there's, like, people just do that. There's 10 million people at the NBA Finals or something. At some point in time, it's going to be like, oh, it's just a really cool experience. Which is basically like watching someone play video games at that point. So
Yeah,
the lines of real and fake are going to get super blurry.
that is true. They
Brought to
already
you
are.
by drugs, everybody. Brought to you by drugs.
Look at the news. Look at the news.
Right.
It's already... You can't tell what's real or fake sometimes. Twitter doesn't really help.
So I'm all aboard the VR train. I can't wait to go to the 3 United States World Cup games from the privacy of my couch.
Nice.
Anyway, Giants and Marlins. Giants. 3.8 run implied total. Marlins 3.7. It's a 51% chance to win for the Giants. Andrew Suarez going for San Francisco. Caleb Smith going for Miami. I get a lot of Suarez, as I normally do. I get a decent amount of Caleb Smith. We're projecting 11% on Smith. I'll be right there. We're projecting 11% on Suarez as well. I will be probably ahead of the field. I assume you're not on Suarez at all, and I assume you like Caleb Smith a little bit.
I mean, I like Caleb Smith in that I think he's pretty safe. The problem is his price. So he's 9,100. You've got Pavetta, you've got Weaver, you've got Tyler Anderson, who I like, who are just so much cheaper. And then he's just kind of in a price range by himself that I probably won't get to. So I like Smith. I don't want to target heavily against him, although Posey, McCutchen, and Longoria will certainly be in my player pool just because they all mash lefties this year and for their careers. So those are guys I like against Smith if you're mini stacking. And then Suarez is not someone I'm ever looking to play. Just so much hard contact, 45% against righties this year. And people don't realize that the Marlins are actually okay against lefties. Like, they're really bad against most pitching, but against lefties, they've got a few guys that can hit them. So it's really the top three for me: Castro, Anderson, Real Muto. Those are always the guys that I mentioned against the lefty. Even Bumgarner, I was talking them up a little bit. I wish I would have been higher on them. Probably would have had a huge night, but I'll be targeting the Marlins once again. And I think they're going to go under-owned.
Yeah, let's see what we have them at right now. We have them with the 12th most ownership.
I like that. I'm very, very excited about that. So we got Real Muto up there. Brian Anderson, dude, the guy just rakes against lefties. Why do people want to play him? And Brinson's raking, and Castro can hit lefties. I don't get it. I get that they're a bad team, but this is not a pitcher that you should be scared of targeting against.
Yeah,
they're so cheap too.
I mean, I have no interest in the Marlins. I don't get them at all outside of a little bit of Cameron Maybin because he's got a ridiculous price. But I will not have any sort of Marlins exposure.
Okay. I'll have all the Marlins exposure on my end and all the money as well.
You're going to have a big Nick Pivetta, Tyler Anderson Marlins line.
Yeah, with 6,000 left over.
You'll be winning $500,000 like Sean Zahn on the Marlins.
Yeah, geez. That was pretty amazing. That dude just
insane.
Emptied the bank.
Yeah, insane. I like Posey, McCutchen, Longoria as like the core of a stack on FanDuel. Posey 3,000, McCutchen 3,300, Longoria 2,800. You could take any other giant and put him in that little stack, and I think it's a not bad spot. Just really cost efficient in a righty-lefty matchup.
I totally agree. Yeah.
I don't really like anybody else on the team, but those three guys just have too low of a price. And while I like Caleb Smith, he could easily put these guys on a couple. He could walk Posey, walk McCutchen, and Longoria puts one in the seats.
The Giants have been really good against lefties over the last month or so.
Whole season. Above average weighted runs created plus, above average slugging, slightly below average ISO, but hard hit looks good. Yeah, it's morning, everybody.
Yep.
Just sorry, I forgot to talk to the chat at all. Let's move on to
Dan C. not missed the Detroit game yet.
Oh, yeah, no, you did not. We're going to talk about it right now, I believe, as we talk about my favorite hitting team of the day, the Minnesota Jakes. Jakes with 4
I think our connection's pretty bad.
What's up?
I think our connection's pretty bad right now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the audience can tell, but you sound like a robot to me.
Oh, really?
Oh, now you don't. All right. There we go.
It says the connection speed between you is fast, but it said medium when I looked at it before, so.
Yeah, it was a little blurry on the screen, too. I'm watching it back. Okay, stream seems fine. There we go.
Back in business. Minnesota Jakes, 4.9 run implied total. Tigers, 3.8. It's a 61% chance to win for the Jakes. Jose Barrios going for Minnesota. Matt Boyd going for Detroit. I don't get to a lot of Barrios. He's just in a really weird spot from a price perspective.
Oh.
What's up?
We'll cut there a bunch.
Yeah, you're cutting out to me now, too. Close the Pornhub links.
I wish I had him up, but I don't. So you're just like cutting in and out. But
all
I'll just
I've
talk
said
about
so
this
far
game.
is that I wish that I liked Barrios more, but his price point makes it a little difficult. Twins
Got
hitters,
it.
on the other hand, give me them all.
Yeah. So I think we're on the same page there. I like Barrios. He's striking out 28% of righties. He's just a really good play. I think he's a pretty safe play. And if you're not in on Bauer today, then Barrios might be your guy. Similar price range and going to be significantly less owned according to our projections. So, I mean, Miguel Cabrera out of the lineup now. He's out for the season. So that's just one less good bat in the Tigers lineup. Not that they had many to start with. Yeah, I mean, I like Barrios, and I will be having a lot of Barrios, a lot of Bauer. So those will be my two spend-up guys, my two main guys.
Yeah, I just can't spend that 11 too. I mean, not like a lot. I don't like the idea of him being. Let's see, what are we? Projecting. I forget what it is. Oh god, my brain is melting. So like, we've got Bauer at 44% and Barrios at 4. I don't like the idea of him being tenfold above him. But I don't really know what the difference. I'll probably bring Bauer down more than I would want to bring Barrios up.
Yeah, I think that's going to, as the day goes on, I think that's going to close. That gap is going to close a little bit. Whether Barrios ends up at 12 or whatever, and Bauer ends up at 35, that's still, I think, a pretty solid pivot to get some Barrios exposure.
Yeah. I think I'll be more likely to go bigger onto Cole than more of Barrios.
I mean, yeah, I can't argue against that. Cole has massive upside pretty much every time he's gone out this year. Not as much as he did the first few starts, but he's still been insane.
Let's talk hitters. Twins are my number 2 stack on FanDuel. They are my number 1 stack on DraftKings. We're projecting them as the number 1 stack, or like the most owned stack on DK. They just look exceptional here. Dozier, Sano, Robbie Grossman, Mitch Garver. I haven't touched on any of the lefties yet, but you could work some of those guys in. I'm going to have a lot of Jakes tonight.
Yeah, I think I will too. And I just don't leave out the lefties when I play the Twins against a lefty. So depending on what site you go on, Boyd can look like a guy who really limits hard contact, or he can look like a guy that just gets blasted by both sides.
He gets blasted by both sides. That's the correct site.
That's what I thought, but Fangraphs has otherwise, I believe. Or maybe Baseball Savant or Fangraphs, I don't know. But so I was a little confused looking at that. I was like, I don't know which one of these is right, but I know that Boyd is not a pitcher we should be scared of. Huge run total for the Twins would suggest that Boyd is not very good on the road here. So I like Kepler. I like Rosario. Sano's obvious. Dozier's pretty obvious, although he's not hitting lefties that well this year. And then Garver and Adrianza as well. He's got some power. He hit a grand slam last night, and I just happened to watch the game, and he got a hold of it.
I'll have a little bit of them.
I mean, I had like 11%. That's why I was like, why did my winnings just go up?
Yeah, that's a big home run then.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I love the Jakes today. I don't get a ton of Kepler on FanDuel. Same price on both sites. So he's the only guy that really doesn't like pop for me.
Yeah, I think they should move Adrianza up. His numbers look pretty solid against lefties. So he's a guy that I like.
Oh, there goes Jake.
Back really, but at 8th, it's going to be tough for me to get a ton of exposure to him.
Agreed. And then I don't have.
So we're both on the Minnesota Mies.
The Minnesota Mies. Yeah, I don't really get to any of the Tigers, so I don't have much to add there.
Yep.
Alrighty. Indians and White Sox. Indians 4.7 run implied total. White Sox 3.5. And for all the people that liked Plutko yesterday, swing from it. 4.2 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, 2 dongs, 3 walks. Get out of here with that Plutko is good garbage. 63% chance to win for the Indians. Trevor Bauer going for Cleveland. Dylan Covey going for Chicago. Bauer's the dude. He's the chalk pitcher of the night. 44% ownership. I'm going to have a ton of him. He grades out as the number 1 option. Highest projection for me on both sites. It's all Bauer. It's just all Bauer.
Yeah, it's all Bauer for me as well. I just realized I had him going up against the Tigers, or I wrote Tigers in the spotlight pitchers, so we will change that to the White Sox. I know he's going up against the White Sox. But anyways, Bauer is an awesome play. He's gone 3 straight starts with 13, 11, and 12 strikeouts. And then he's got 2 other double-digit strikeout games on the year. Swinging strike rate over the last month is almost 14, making guys chase. Against righties, 304 xFIP. Like, everything checks out here for Bauer. And he's pitching some of the best he's pitched in his entire career, arguably the best in his entire career. So I don't know. I don't know how to not keep riding this guy. And the bottom of that lineup is pretty atrocious. Kevin Smith, Tim Anderson, Chris Tilson, and Engel. It's a good pitcher like Bauer should strike those guys out more times than not.
Sorry, I'm correcting something on the website right now. Yeah, I'm with you. It's hard to not be on Bauer. He's been good. He is good. And he's got a price point today that's not where it should be.
Yeah. I mean, I would almost play him if he was like 12-5, he would still be my highest owned pitcher, I think.
I would agree.
He's been so damn good.
Yeah, I would agree for sure there. He just 11.5 is insane. I mean, he's $1,600 cheaper than Cole on FanDuel too. It's not just like a one site thing.
Yeah,
I love him in both places. I'll have him a ton. I'll be under the field because I'm not going to have 44% Trevor Bauer, but I like it.
Oh, I will have 44% Trevor Bauer.
I want to circle back to this quick. Zach Jameson in the chat. I'm going to the White Sox game, thinking about stacking Indians just because I'll be there. Dumb. I think they make a nice secondary stack if you want one today. Lindor is in a really good spot, although expensive. I'd be fine with Brantley or Alonso or Kipnis. Only guy that I really probably wouldn't look for is Edwin Encarnacion. Otherwise, I think an Indian stack is completely viable.
Yeah, I mean, I think the top 3, those guys are awesome. So I mention them all the time when they're against a righty. 5 run total. I don't think you should feel bad about stacking up the Indians. I don't think a lot of people will be on them because Covey will probably have some industry-wide respect after his last start against the Red Sox. He won a guy the live final, or the seat to the live final, and a lot of money otherwise. So Covey has impressed lately. There's no doubt about it, and he's enough. Like, it's enough for me to not want to full stack the Indians, but I understand if you want to.
Yeah, let's see what we have. We have them with the 3rd highest ownership. They're tied with the Twins and Reds today on DK. I've got 9%, so like I like them as well. Interesting the way that I have this loaded here. Yeah, I'm going to have a decent amount of Indians, but they're like my number 7 stack, so it's not a priority.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They're not a priority for me. They'll be a secondary stack, like 3 or maybe 4 man, but mostly those top 3.
Yeah, they're expensive. They'll go. The Indians will work really well with a Weaver Pivetta stack of pitchers.
Yeah.
So I guess we need to talk about this a little bit. White Sox are projected to have the 11th most exposure, just slightly below the average amount. I get 0 White Sox. Is there any scenario, like, are you going to look at a White Sox stack just because of Bauer's ownership?
No, I'm not going to stack against Bauer. Yeah, he's just been unconscious. Like, so I get it, like on a season level. So he's striking out 30% of guys. He can kill a rally in 2 hitters and just strike them out and end the inning. So the hard hit percentage, he's at almost 39% for the season. Like, you can make a case to do it, but a 115 whip, not really allowing home runs, not really walking guys that much. I don't know. I don't see it, especially with a team that isn't one of the best offenses in the league. So if this was Bauer, like, against his own team, against Cleveland or something like that, like, or like another team like the Red Sox, then yeah, I would have more interest in it. But I don't think I'm going to do it here with the White Sox.
Sounds good to me. Move on here. Padres and Cardinals.
Is FanGraphs down for everyone else, by the way? I'm trying to refresh a page and it's not working. So.
Wait, FanDuel or FanGraphs?
FanGraphs.
Yes, it appears to be down.
Yeah. Okay. That's why you download the data the night before, people. That's why I just referred you some numbers.
Padres and Cardinals. Padres 3.4 run implied total. Cardinals 4.9. 66% chance to win for the Cardinals. Eric Lauer going for the Padres. Luke Weaver going for the Cardinals. Weaver's my dude. Second favorite pitcher behind Bauer today. We're projecting pretty sizable ownership. Second highest owned pitcher of the slate on DraftKings. Second highest owned pitcher of the slate on FanDuel. I'll be right around the field there. I've got like 27% on both sites. I just can't avoid him. And I'll probably have like 1 or 2 lines of Eric Lauer because for some reason I just can't quit Eric Lauer.
Yeah, I can quit Eric Lauer pretty easily, actually. He had 7 walks last start, but he ended up having like a good on-paper start. So the walks are going to be an issue for him, and right-handed bats are going to be an issue for him. So that lines up well for the Cardinals. They were in a good spot last night and just disappointed. But I'm going back to them once again. They just have so many guys that mash lefties. Yadi Molina, Marcelo Ozuna, Jose Martinez, just crushing everything. Tommy Pham, Bader, like all these right-handed bats against Lauer, I'm pretty excited about.
Cardinals are my number 3 stack on FanDuel, my number 2 stack on DK. We've got them with the 5th most ownership on DraftKings. I'll be over the field on them. They're one of my favorites today. Pretty cost-effective in certain spots, especially on DK. Like, I like Carpenter a lot at $3,800. He's $100 more expensive on FanDuel, so he's a little bit more difficult to get to. But dual eligibility, I love it so much. I'm in on a ton of Pham. Ozuna at 4,000, I think, is a bargain. Molina as a catcher. I'm going to have a ton of Cardinals. I'm happy to be over the field here. If this game were in San Diego, it might be a little bit different, but it's not. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals are awesome plays. I mean, just one of the top 3 or 4 stacks for me for sure.
I wish I liked Jose Martinez more.
Why don't you like him?
I don't know.
Is it a personal thing?
I honestly have no idea. I just see his name, and I'm immediately like, he's not that great.
Have you seen him? Like, have you watched him? Because he is absolutely massive.
I mean, I know, like, I've seen
I
him.
don't know what's not to like. His numbers against lefties look fine. His ISO's down,
he's great, like, just in general. I don't have. It's irrational.
Okay.
It's absolutely irrational. Derek Lowe, Josh doesn't like Jose's batting stance. I have no idea what his batting stance looks like.
Who hurt you, Josh? Who hurt you?
I'm still not over Mark McGuire's steroids. Just have a hard time getting behind Cardinals.
I should probably mention Weaver. So I like Weaver. I think he's relatively safe, kind of like Michaelis yesterday. I don't expect him to pitch a perfect start or anything here, but as a pivot, I guess he's not really a pivot to Pivetta for ownership. He's going to be higher owned than Pivetta as of now. So that makes me want to go all in on Pivetta in this range. I just think he's got a lot more upside, probably a better matchup. They're both at home. There's a lot of similarities, but I just think Pivetta is a better pitcher.
We've got some gambling lines to talk about.
We do.
Yankees Nats is 9.5. I had it at 8.5. So yeah, sign me up for some more Nats bats.
I'm telling you, man. Daniel Murphy. This is going to be the Daniel Murphy game. That guy is the GOAT. As is Rendon. As is Harper.
Yeah, I'm going to be much more on the Nats now that line has come out. Boston line is a little bit higher than what I expected. The Toronto-Tampa Bay line is a little bit lower than I expected. So, but yeah, that came out at Nats-Yanks came out at 9.5. That extra run will bump up the hitters, and that will remove Sonny Gray from consideration on my end.
Yeah, I think that's a smart pivot by you.
Boom. Alrighty. Another fun team to stack, Reds and Royals. Reds going to try to do it again from an ownership perspective, at least. I don't know. They weren't very good yesterday, were they?
No, they weren't. They got a bunch of runs in the top of the 10th.
Yeah. Oh, so they didn't score until the 9th. Well, I guess they kind of bailed it out a little bit. Doesn't look like they pinch hit at all, so you get there when you get there, but they weren't the team you needed. Anyway. Yeah. 4.8 run implied total for the Reds, 4.5 for the Royals, 52% chance to win for the Reds. Tyler Mahle going for Cincinnati, Jason Hamill going for Kansas City. I'll get a line or two of Tyler Mahle just because there's only 9 games, but this game is all about hitting for me, particularly the Reds side. Number 4 stack on FanDuel, number 3 stack on DK. The top 3 guys are the guys that are getting the majority of my exposure. So Schebler, Barnhart, Joey Votto. Hamill looking to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lefties. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm in there.
I hate Hamill. I think he's been pretty lucky. I don't know how he's surviving, but I'll be stacking against him once again with these Reds lefties. Top 4, and then even Suarez, sort of the same thing as yesterday with Ian Kennedy. I think Hamill is probably a little bit better than Ian Kennedy right now, but I don't see how the Reds shouldn't hit him, but I didn't see it yesterday either with Kennedy and that baseball.
Finished 8 innings, 5 Ks, 3 hits.
Yeah, dude.
Fair enough.
I guess, but Mahle, same thing. Lefty power has been an issue for him. So Moustakas is a guy I like Alex Gordon, and then Salvador Perez just has crushed righties this year too. I can't believe some of the numbers he's put up, hard contact and such. So he's basically a catcher I'll consider at the top every day.
Agreed. Yeah, I'll have a decent amount of Royals too, 1 to 5. Merrifield, Moustakas, Perez, Soler, and Gordon. This game's all hitting for me.
Yeah.
In the aggregate, it's probably the best game for hitting on the slate. I'll have both teams a lot.
Sure, yeah.
Did you see how the Reds scored the majority of those extra inning runs?
Wasn't it a Votto triple?
Votto bases loaded triple.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have bet on that one at the time.
Yeah.
Man, 8 innings and 5 Ks, no runs for Ian Kennedy. Blech.
Yeah, that's no good.
Astros and A's. Astros 4.3 run implied total. A's 3.2. 63% chance to win for the Stros. Garrett Cole going for Houston. Paul Blackburn going for Oakland. Cole's in an interesting spot. We're projecting kind of minimal ownership for him. 16% on DK, 11% on FanDuel. And a lot of that, well, not a lot of that. All of that is just because of the price. He's 11.8 on FanDuel, 13.2 on DK. If he's going to be 1/4, well, maybe not 1/4 on DK, but like if he's going to be 16% and Bauer is going to be 44, I like the idea of having more Cole in the GPP. I have them with very similar overall projections, only different by 0.2 of a point. So I think the chances of Cole finishing similarly to Bauer are quite high, and I'm willing to take that chance in the GPP and pay up a little bit extra.
Yeah, I kind of want to, but it's not like he's going to be unowned. He's still going to be like decently owned, and I have Bauer scoring, like I have him projected for more points than Cole, so I get the ownership thing. If he's going to be 3 times as owned, then it's hard to not take Cole, who's been one of the best pitchers in the MLB this year. But I think Bauer and Barrios, the savings it just allows you to do so much more.
I hear you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm anxious to see what Alex writes tonight. It'll be a good spot for a pitcher's article.
Yeah, I mean, I like some cheap stacks. Like I said, I like the Marlins, and you've got the Royals or whatever. Like you can fit Cole in. It's not that tough.
Sure.
And so I'll have some Cole lineups, but I'm not gonna be going overboard or play him more than Bauer, I don't think.
And he definitely has the second highest chance of being the best pitcher of the day.
I think I would agree. Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, he's in the top. He's right up there with Barrios.
It's either him or Bauer. In my opinion.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I'll end up probably over the field on Cole, and I'm pretty excited about that. Astros bats, they look a lot better on DK than they do on FanDuel. First 4 guys are where I'm focused. So Springer, Bregman, Altuve, Correa. Nothing new there. Pricing's not that bad. Like Bregman's cheaper on DK. Springer only $300 more expensive. They look good. I'm not super worried about Paul Blackburn and his projected 5.2 K rate.
Yeah. 5.2 Ks per 9.
Yeah.
He was okay in his first start, but that was a little bit different situation. This ownership that I'm seeing for Houston looks pretty nice for me to just get some Houston exposure. So I think they're a top 5 stack for me probably, but I just wonder if they go overlooked, because we kind of have them going overlooked. Like I love the Nationals, I love the Marlins, I like the Twins, Cardinals, and then you've got that game stack with Cincinnati and KC. I just like on a 9-game slate, I like the idea of getting a really powerful team on the road here against a pitcher that we don't think is anything special.
Yeah, we've got the Astros with the 8th most ownership on DraftKings. I'm ahead of the field on them right now. I'd like to keep it that way. Those top 5 guys, plus even Reddick to an extent. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, what's not to love? I mean, these guys can all hit. Like they go, they're very chalky when they're up against a lefty, but these guys all hit righties very, very well and have since the start of like 2016. So
I'm a little surprised at how low the Astros implied total is. 4.3 seems way too low for that lineup. There's Jake.
It's not like a little bit of wind blowing out. Am I cutting out?
You did. You're good.
All right. Yeah, I mean, the low total will probably get people off of them, which I like. Like, do you like them or the Dodgers, who have a similar total?
Astros by a little bit.
Yeah, for me, it's Astros pretty easily there.
Okay.
So
I like the Dodgers a lot on DK or on FanDuel actually, but we'll get to that. 4.3 seems way too low for that offense. What do I not know about Paul Blackburn? Apparently.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine. he's not going to miss a ton of bats, which
No, he's not.
that's where Houston gets in trouble if you got guys that can strike you out. But
I mean, like, Bregman doesn't K, Altuve doesn't K. Even Correa and Springer are both better than average at limiting strikeouts. Gurriel doesn't K, Reddick doesn't K, McCann doesn't K, Tony Kemp doesn't K. Like, whew.
They're going to put the ball in play.
I have Paul Blackburn projected for 2.5 Ks. God, that sucks.
That's pretty bad.
It's so bad. I think I could get one. Well, not anymore, but like at a time in my life.
I couldn't.
Final game, Rangers and Dodgers. Rangers, 3.2 run implied total. Dodgers, 4.3. 62% chance to win for the Dodgers. Here it is. Cole Hamels going for Texas. Kenta Maeda going for LA. I love Maeda here, much like every other day. We're not projecting much ownership for him on FanDuel, so I'm really heavy on him there. We've got him in the 20s on DK, and that's where I'll have him, so I'll be pretty neutral. Dodgers are my number 5 stack on FanDuel, number 8 on DK. I have them significantly more than the field on FanDuel. I think they grade out really nicely from a price point. Chris Taylor, Justin Turner, Kike Hernandez, and Puig would be the 4 guys that I'm looking at. Getting a third baseman and a shortstop plus Kike and Puig, 2 righties, all these righties against a lefty. I'm in. I hate Hamels.
Yeah, I hate Hamels too, but I don't know if I'm going to be stacking against him here. Justin Turner sticks out for me, as does Matt Kemp, but then the rest of the lineup doesn't really grade out all that well for me. Kike has taken a step back, it looks like, against lefties this year. His ISO's still fine and stuff, but just like not hitting the ball that hard.
He's 2,400 on FanDuel today.
Yeah, so I get it over there. I get it on FanDuel. Barnes is a good catcher, a good hitter. You've got Puig, but Puig doesn't really hit lefties that well. So, I mean, I can make a case for the Dodgers stack, but it's really going to be Justin Turner and Matt Kemp for me, and that's how I'll get my exposure against Cole Hamels. So, man, if Hamels gets blown up today for the first time, I'm going to lose it if I'm not on the Dodgers. So,
yeah, I'm going to have. They're probably going to be my, like, quote-unquote sleeper team. I'll be close to double the field on them on FanDuel. On DK, their pricing isn't as good, so I'll just be relatively neutral. But it's hard to pass up on FanDuel.
Yeah.
Especially getting a shortstop and a third baseman at $6,800 total. Just a really nice price point. Gives me something to cheer for at 10 o'clock.
Hamels has gone 5 innings in every start this year. At least 5 innings.
Ew.
I cannot. I mean, he's had 2 games with 5 or 3 games with 5 earned runs and stuff, but he's never really given me that start where he goes 3 1/3 and gives up 6, and then you get to go against the Rangers bullpen. So that's probably why I hate Hamels, but not playing him.
Today's the day, baby.
Could be.
Today's the day.
When no one's on the stack against him, I'm sure.
You want to look at a crunch or two?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sean Evans, no poll today. We didn't really think about it. I didn't really have any good poll questions either. Come on, DraftKings. Or Fantasy Cruncher. There we go. Give me 2 pitchers.
Let's go Bauer Pavetta or Bauer Weaver.
I'm going to go Weaver just because I have more of it.
Sure.
So first one up would be a 5-man twin stack with Carlos Santana, Rhys Hoskins, and Scott Schebler.
I like it.
Or you can get Cargo, Matt Carpenter, and Buster Posey as the 5 with noted slugger Adrianza in this particular
Adrianza. I can never say his name.
You can do Phillies with Posey, Votto. Posey, Votto, and Sano with the 1 through 5 of the Phillies. Whew. All right, so I need to look at it now. Did I get any Weaver and Pavetta? I want to see what those lines look like.
I'm sure you did.
I got 4 lines of that. This is going to be nuts. So Posey, Rhys Hoskins, and Marcell Ozuna one-offs with Alonso, Kipnis, Ramirez, Lindor, and Brantley. Oh. I'm going to need to clean up after this one.
Looks good. You can do a full Astros with some Reds, Votto, Perez,
Salvador Perez,
Rhys.
Votto, and Rhys Hoskins with the nuts Astros. Whee.
That looks good. Looks good.
Nats with Posey, Ozuna, and Schebler. Dude.
I like the Nats, dude. I really, really like the Nats.
Well, you could do the Nats with Pavetta, Weaver, and have your pick of basically any catcher and 2 outfielders that you want.
Oh, don't worry. I will.
Let's
I will have a
swap
lot
out
of that.
Schebler for something that's a little bit more interesting. Is there a catcher we would want to drop down to from Posey? I don't think so.
I mean, you could do Yachty.
Yeah, that's not a bad one.
I love Yachty, but
Lil Yachty?
yeah. So now you've got the 5-2-1, and you're one, or you can do 5-3 with Pham there. That's sexy.
That's a really nice line. Ozuna, it's so much red. Ozuna, Pham, Molina with the top 5, I guess, Nats.
There you go. There's your single entry lineup there.
Yeah, for real.
Don't.
And that's a low owned
Don't
lineup
spend it all in
too.
one place. Yeah. I mean,
Like,
I really wonder if people are going to be on the Nationals because of Sonny Gray. I don't know. Maybe they will.
I think they're gonna have to be now that line's 9.5.
So Adams, we've got decently owned, but the rest of them, super appealing.
So let's do the opposite. Let's take a look at Cole plus. Who goes well there? Cole Maeda?
Cole Maeda? Yeah, we can try
Because
that.
I think that's a unique pitching combo. I want to see if that makes it hard to get to anything interesting. All right, so I only got 1 line of that. I like it, though. Garver, Sano, Dozier, Grossman, Kepler with Justin Turner, Scott Kingery, and Whit Merrifield. I like that a lot as a unique line. Not going to be a ton of people playing Scott Kingery as a one-off. I like Justin Turner today. And Cole Maeda is a pretty unique pitching combo.
Yeah, you can make that happen.
I'd probably get off of Merrifield there. Maybe go to
You can go down to
Kike.
your boy Kike.
Yeah. Wrap him up there with Justin Turner. I'd probably update. Can I get higher than 3,200 on Kingery? No, I would want Kingery. That's fine.
That's not sorted by salary, but yeah.
It's
pay
sorted
up
by
over.
my projections. So there was
Oh,
nobody
gotcha.
ahead of Kingery's spot. Wow. So I like that a lot because I don't see, that Cole Maeda combo is a pretty low owned combo, all things considered.
Yeah.
16% Cole, 22% Maeda. Nobody's on that.
Agreed.
All right. Do we want to take a quick look at the early slate? Just
Sure.
teams we like more than a little bit.
Sure.
All right. Let me change up my view here. That's not how you type in time, Josh. Alrighty. Let's see. How do we want to do this? Let me refilter this. So because FanDuel is FanDuel and can't do anything normal, the early slate is split into 2 separate slates, and then the 12 o'clock game isn't included on DraftKings, right?
Yeah.
So since they're 2 separate slates, we can't just walk through it because it's unique to everything. So let's just grab a couple teams that we think look good. I would say the Red Sox are the most popular team of the morning.
Yeah.
Chris Sale going for Boston. 69% chance to win.
So Sale's, yeah. So Sale's going to be the mega chalk. I would think, right? Or is he not?
I haven't looked, but let's take a peek.
Okay.
Sale I would expect him to be. It's either him or Soroka, maybe.
No. Well, Soroka he's got a 90 pitch count, which that's not really a pitch count when you're 7,400.
Right.
Like, don't be concerned about 90 pitches as your pitch count, because
that's plenty.
You could easily get 6, maybe 7 innings if you're super efficient, especially against the Mets.
Who the hell is the chalk pitcher then? J.A. Happ.
Happ, Greinke, Sale, all bunched together.
Wow.
Sale, you.
Yeah, I don't
But,
have it like that at all. I'm way ahead on Sale. Not a big Jeffrey Ramirez guy for the Orioles, oddly enough.
Who is Jeffrey Ramirez? I have not heard of this guy.
He's been in AAA.
Okay, let's look him up. I'm gonna look him up really quick. You can go about.
Can you get to FanGraphs?
Let's see. How do you spell this guy's name? Jeffrey.
Yefry.
So he's not in the player pool.
No, he's not.
Let us see if. Maybe I can go on Baseball Reference.
Yeah, I would be all over Sale. I would be stacking up the Red Sox highly. Biggest implied total of the morning. I don't care that Jeffrey is. He's just not great. So give me Betts, Benintendi, JD, Moreland, Bogarts, Devers, Nunez. I want it all.
I mean, yeah, it looks like probably the best spot on the day, but you have to pay up very high, and you're going to sacrifice some pitching. I like Happ, I do, in general and in this matchup, but I would really be trying to get Sale into my lineups.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
He just got so much upside in this matchup. Baltimore, one of the most impatient teams in the MLB. Sale is just fine against righties, and he's going to get 9 of them. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Happ could come close to matching him if they both have solid starts, but
I have Sale 6.5 points ahead of J.A. Happ. I don't even have Happ as my second best starter of the morning.
I mean, I have him.
Although I guess I technically do. I'm including the 12 o'clock game for a reason that I shouldn't. So let me pull that back out.
So I have Happ. I have Happ second, then Greinke third. But there's a lot of points in between those guys. So I have Happ well below Sale. I have Happ well above Greinke. So
I have him a point ahead of him. So I'd rather have Greinke if we're taking salary into account. But to me, it's like Sale is just the clear-cut option on DK. It would really, if he's only 34% and Happ and Greinke are on like that, good God, I love it.
All right, let's see. Let's see this guy, Jeffrey.
Would you prefer Richards or Tyon?
Richards or Tyon? They're right next to each other for me. I'd probably go Tyon, but I don't really like either one of them that much. I'm kind of looking at Montgomery.
Okay.
I was kind of looking at Marco Gonzalez last night. I just don't think he's the craziest play. And I hate Marco Gonzalez, and I also hate targeting against the Angels, but I'm just not in love with any of these pitchers. So if I don't think any of them are going to have really good games outside of like Sale and Happ, then I'll just pay down and get whatever. Do you know who's coming out of the bullpen for Tampa Bay?
Andrees, I believe.
Andrees. Oh, nice.
That's who
Okay.
I put in, at least. So, Montgomery, second lowest ownership for the morning. He's not the guy that I would get to. I think Gonzalez would be the move there, which does not exactly make me feel good.
So Andrees pitched on Friday, so that would mean he's fully rested.
Yeah.
But I'm not seeing. They haven't said who is going to come in.
No, he is. Font is starting.
Okay, Font is starting for sure.
Font is doing the first inning nonsense. And then it should be Andrees.
Okay.
At least I looked back in the game logs, and that's who threw most recently, so I assume it's him.
I don't think Andrees is the craziest play. Righty against the Blue Jays. Just a lot of right-handed bats. Yeah, man. He's got a 12.4% swinging strike rate, too. Andrees can miss bats. So he's another cheap option. Him and Gonzalez will probably be my two guys, and I'll try to jam in as much Chris Sale as possible and hopefully lock up the top raw point pitcher and hope the expensive bats don't all go nuts.
Zach Jameson in the chat. Could you do a crunch of Sale and Happ and see if you can do it? Of course I can.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good question there by Zach.
Without changing any of my settings, you can get there, but it's pretty low scoring. I've got it in with a 5-man stack of Angels with some Addison Russell, Jared Dyson, and Hernan Perez. That one's going to be tough to do.
That is tough.
If I do, let me just look and see what 20 lines look like without changing anything. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a tough fit. You're not going to be happy about it. And I think you fall off too far from your expected value to make that a play that's really viable. I think if you're going to do Sale, well, let's just lock Sale and see who like his best partner is. Tie on Marco Gonzalez and Garrett Richards in my stuff. So 5-man Boston stack: Benintendi, Martinez, Bradley, Devers, Nunez, Manny Pena, Kendry Morales, and Orlando Arcia fills it out. Sale and Marco. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't think this is a great slate. I think you probably agree there, right? It's
no, the pieces don't fit really well together.
Yeah. So.
Like, at all.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't play it, but I don't know what FanDuel is doing with their, like, splitting that up. I mean, I get it. They want the rake or whatever, but, like, who wants to play a 3-game slate when you can play a 5 or 6 gamer?
Yeah, I'll be taking my money to DK today.
Yeah, that's what I suggest you guys do.
So my number one stack for the morning: Sale and Tyon at pitcher, 5-man Cubs stack. Surprise, surprise.
You can do that.
Kinsler, Morales, and Manny Pena.
Oh, Sale and Tyon. Okay, I was thinking Sale and Happ. I was like,
no. Bryant,
okay.
Russell, Hayward, Schwarber, Almora. Yeah, I'm gonna be heavy on the Cubs.
Yeah, man, I like it. Although I will say that I don't mind the Diamondbacks stack, and I think it's going to be really low owned against Tyon. He's much, much better against righties, and then you've got Peralta, Descalso, Lamb in the middle of that lineup. I think they could do some damage, and then just Goldschmidt, just hot as hell right now. So I think if I'm going for a low owned stack, the Diamondbacks would probably be my pick. I also have a little bit of interest in Seattle, just because people are going to play Tyon, they're going to play Richards, so I want to take bats against them on a short slate. And Richards can blow up really quick and have a 30-pitch inning. He's done it a bunch of times this year. A patient team like Seattle, you can start walking guys. I could see a path to a big Seattle game.
I'm going to run your Arizona line and see what it looks like.
So, yeah.
I probably have to change some settings. Since I have them in here, we need to bump up hitter exposure. That ain't it either. Let's cut salary. Still only getting 2. It might be the pitching. How's that less now?
Try it. Yeah, it should be.
I don't have that much unique shit. It's just Diamondbacks. 5-man Diamondbacks. Good. Good, good, good. Yeah, this should run. Guess it won't.
I don't know.
Maybe you can't do it.
Maybe.
There we go. Only 11 lines, so let's look at the first one. Sale and Marco, 5-man Diamondback stack. Mitch Moreland, Eduardo Nunez, Jason Hayward. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really love Jared Dyson, but
no, neither do I. But
there's not a lot to like in this morning slate.
No, it's tough.
Anybody have any other questions? Otherwise, we are going to get to stepping. You got anything you want to add?
No, just watch the live stream with you and Chris tonight. We will have a fun video coming out, I think later today, right? It's going to come out. I know we're recording today, but do you know anything about that? You do.
What are you talking about?
With Alex.
Oh, are we recording that today?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun. I forgot.
Okay. All right.
I don't pay attention to it.
I'm wrong.
I'm just available always.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have a cool like roundtable discussion centered around Alex Osimo. For you guys that don't know, his name is Alex.
We have one other thing that we need to plug quickly. I don't know how to best get to this. Give me 1 second.
Favorite GPP pitcher on FanDuel. For the very early, I don't think the Boston game is included there, so it would be Happ for me. It'd probably be DeGrom first, actually. I forgot about DeGrom, but he's dominated the Braves like 2 times, and then he had that one start where he left early with 4 innings and 6 strikeouts. So I think DeGrom and Happ are the clear top 2, and they're probably the highest priced on FanDuel as well. So I would go expensive there on the very early. And then someone's asking, is Sale fadeable? I mean, yeah, at that price, 13.5, he's got to have a really good start for him to be worth it. So if you want to fade Sale, I don't know that you necessarily need to target against him, but you're going to need a big performance out of your other pitchers. So if you want to go with like Happ and Greinke or something like that, you can get different.
Okay, so what I'm trying to plug I can't get to for some strange reason, which is annoying, but obviously check out Spotlight Hitters and Pitchers and whatever. But check out iTunes. Search for Osimo. You can now subscribe to the Night Shift podcast on iTunes. No longer does that need to be just YouTube. You can get the Night Shift podcast straight to your podcast app, starting with this past night. So if you head to iTunes or whatever podcast software you use, you should be able to subscribe to our feed. It's the Osimo.com podcast stream. Best I could do is just hold up my phone. Okay, no one can see that anyway. Never mind. I can't get to iTunes right now, so I can't show anyone this. It just says connecting to the iTunes store, but it's not actually connecting to the iTunes store.
So you'll see a big Osmo logo. You just search Osmo.com on iTunes. It'll pop up. Hit the subscribe button. You will get it as soon as it drops on iTunes. You'll get a notification. What did we say? Any places to get Jake's pitching analysis? Yeah, spotlight pitchers. That's for the main slate. So I do that 6 days a week. Spotlight pitchers. That's written by me. Takes a look at usually 3, sometimes 2 if the slate's really small. Pitchers have.
This is ridiculous. I just cannot get to it.
Favorite GPP pitchers on DK, early and main. So early, Sale. I like Hap as the second guy if you can't get up to Sale, and then some interest in Marco Gonzalez, some interest in Matt Andriese. On the main 3 that I'm going with are Pivetta. Who else did I have in there? Oh, Pivetta, Maeda, and Bauer's my number 1. But I also have in some. Let's see, who else did I have in there? I mean, Weaver's fine. I just much prefer Pivetta in that price range, and I think Weaver's going to be higher owned. And then Tyler Anderson, I like as like my deep low owned guy on DK.
And we should pour one out for a little Miguel Cabrera. Exploded his bicep yesterday.
Yeah.
Sorry,
just I know it's too bad he's breaking down at the end of his career.
Alrighty, that's it, everybody. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Check out iTunes for the Awesemo.com podcast feed. Stick around tonight for live stream, myself and Chris, and we'll have another fun piece of content, I think for premium, but I'm not entirely sure, for a little bit of a roundtable. So get ready, people. Lots of content coming. And maybe one more slightly secret video project that you guys don't know about. Get ready. We'll talk to you guys later.
Good luck.